We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Mike McDaniel's scheme, looking up how the Miami Dolphins have done up to the mid-season point offensively. And McDaniel, I think, has just been on fire, and he's just has a great understanding of how to utilize his player skill sets, maximize it. He's an elite play designer. Very good season overall, even though, I haven't agreed with all the play calling at times, and they haven't had perfect games every single time. They're still the best offense statistically. He makes the O-line's life a lot easier. And then when it comes to, concepts, he's so good at making, tiny little variations. He'll run the same concept, same look, and it'll just be a slightly different variation where defense can't, predict it, and he's just build off these things as the seasons go on. The cheat motion stuff that he's utilized has been great as well. And then he also does a good job of giving you the exact same look and then just running a completely different play. And he just has a lot of different things in his bag. We'll go back. This is that play I feel like that people have shown throughout this season when it comes to the cheat motion stuff. Getting Tyreek lined up almost as a wing right here. Motion him outside, get him a few steps going full speed. And it just puts DBs in such a tough position to cover Tyreek with all that momentum. And look at all that space that was created, and he's just basically built off this as the seasons has gone on, and you'll see all the different ways it's been used. Also up front, he makes the life so much easier for offensive linemen with how he does this stuff with the play action. He slides the protection across and then pulls one of the guards, and when he does this type of thing, these guys are not able to just shoot up the field. It just freezes defensive linemen with the play action, and then with how they actually play with their sets and stuff. It gives two of these clean pockets all the time, and just really understands how to utilize his players to their maximum strength. I think this was the first time this season, this play right here, where he used that quick motion out. He only took one step. That was Ezukanma, but even just look the effect that he had on defense. This is where he hit River Craycraft over the middle. Go back, look at this a little more slowly, and just watch this defender. He takes one step, and as he takes that step, the ball snaps. So this is all about timing. Sometimes it's a little bit more, allowing to build momentum. Sometimes it's just a one-step thing because they're a little bit tighter in alignment. And it just allows this concept to work perfectly. This guy doesn't know what to do, so he gets super wide. And then it just leaves, two guys out here on Easy, and it leaves Craycraft in the middle. They're running zone, and basically all they have to worry about is just one, drop hook linebacker, throw the ball behind him, all that space to work with. These motions really gave the Chargers a lot of fits, and a lot of teams have done they've done a better job against it, after watching the film, but it's still been very effective throughout the season. Dolphins have run this end around concept all season long. They've done it with Achane. They did it with Ezukanma early on in the season. They've done it with all their receivers. They've done it with Mostert, getting people involved. And I do like how they set this up with the tight end here. They've done this a couple different times. They do it with Ingold on that Achane run, where he take a step to side, get things flowing. They even pull the guard across, and it just gets all the eyes flowing this way. Look at all the defense here. And then you flip back around, and then you also have Williams pull out in front. He gets engaged, and then he gets out in space. And now you have multiple lead blockers for Eazy-E. Just love the little play designs of these things, and it makes it so hard to play against this. Even after they've run this play so many times, teams still are having trouble against it just because of what they're supposed to key and diagnose defensively. And here's that Tyreek Hill touchdown, and this play will always be funny to me because they orbit motion Durham Smythe to get the whole flow of the defense going the opposite way, which just basically gives Tyreek Hill a one-on-one on the backside. And it's just pretty funny because you're not usually going to do this with your tight end, but this setup is very nice. It makes this DBs, forces this guy playing that quarters. His eyes are in the backfield, then Tua gets his eyes this way, and it's just those little designs like that, little things that gives Tyreek Hill these one-on-ones from time to time, and he always takes advantage. The Dolphins seam rail slide RPO, their go-to, what they ran last year. They still run it this year a decent amount, not as much unless they're playing the Patriots. If they're playing the Patriots, they're running this concept all the time, but they've added the cheat motion to this concept, and this is the concept. You're going to watch all the different variations that they used. They come out in all the different types of formations and run this. But even with Ingold here, look, they get these guys tight, and he gets a one step out of his break, or out of the motion right there, and it just gives him this natural leverage advantage. They don't switch it off, and the linebacker is way too late to read it. You throw the ball to your fullback. How are they supposed to expect that? I love just the tiny little nuances that put these guys in conflict. Dolphins have run a lot of tosses this season. This is probably my favorite version, is when they go with the lead blocker here with the crackback block, and he just sets up natural leverage advantage just based on pre-snap alignment. As you can see here, I do like the motioning the tight end across, create this natural like sift block. It also makes the linebackers freeze temporarily. You get Tyreek Hill just a natural leverage advantage on an edge defender who's not super big. He wins there, and now it's just a lead block out on a DB for Ingold, and everyone else just has to reach or get sustained. And based on Patriots playing like in a tight front here, zero, some four eyes, some four techs, and all they have to do is get their, across right there, get to the next level. Lamb cuts off that linebacker. It's just beautifully designed, even though it's, a pretty basic toss play. The Dolphins have been very effective on those types of plays all season long, except, like the Eagles and Chiefs did a good job against it, but those were becoming very obvious, and they didn't have Achane, who I think kind of changes that whole perspective of that play. Another variation to the cheat motion to the Tyreek Hill and Waddle side. You get him going out. Defenses are threatened by this. All the eyes go towards Tyreek. He gets all that momentum, and then you throw the jailbreak screen back to Waddle, get all these guys out in space. It just creates so much, like, get these guys to overflow this way. They see that motion, and then they get all these offensive linemen out in space. Waddle comes down, and that screenplay has been very, very effective, and I just love all the different ways they've kind of used that throughout the season. Even these motions just down in the red zone put the players in a very tough spot. Now they have to decide if they want to switch or not, and it gets Tyreek aligned naturally on the safety instead. Kyle Duggar, who's like a safety linebacker hybrid, and now it gets Smythe to pull out the corner and just gets you a one-on-one matchup to exactly what you want. Really, just not even super complicated stuff. I feel like you make things look complicated, but in reality, it's pretty simplistic, which is exactly what you want. Make it look complicated, but it's easy for your offense to execute, get things going, and he gets the exact matchup that they want, and they can really build off these types of plays each week as well. The shotgun behind the back sort of sweep play action stuff has been a big part of this offense. The last 2 seasons under McDaniel, they've done a decent job with running it. I think they've ran it a little bit too much at times, but I think that's a good thing to set up this play action game. It also sets up a natural play action with the footwork and things with the quarterback. It also creates a clean pocket underneath, and then just look at the effect it has on these linebackers, and then you hit the little pop pass over the middle of the field to your tight end. Just very, very nice stuff. Love seeing these types of plays for this Dolphins offense. You can see how it creates a clean pocket, and then look at all 3 of these defenders getting taken away with the flow of the play. Beautiful setup, beautiful execution, and it just fits into what the players are very, very good at as well. They've even used some of this cheat out motion. I love when they come out with, 2 running backs as well in the running game, and then you create all this just natural leverage advantage. You get Achane out in space just because of how you set this up. You get the tight end with this natural position versus this edge to crack back. Also the receivers too. It gets people to widen out the linebackers, and then everyone's able to crack back these guys here. All your O-linemen have natural leverage advantages up front, and it just gets Achane with all this space to work with out there. I love how they've designed the running game. A lot of times with those play actions behind the backs or the end arounds, get Achane motioning behind here, and that is just, I love this play design. It's one of my favorite play designs of the season. I think getting Achane back, just even using him as a decoy in certain plays like this is why they run this stuff so much, is so it can be used as a decoy at times. You get this spin around, you get the counter step from Mostert flowing with it, and look at all of these defenders flying down, and then it's just beautiful. I love the footwork and how Tua sells this to set that up, and it gets Mostert a free walk into the end zone. This is another play the Dolphins have done throughout the season, and it's actually scored a couple times to Mostert. I'll show another one later on that's very similar. Just getting Mostert a lead blocker naturally down the flat. And this play has a couple different things that you can do. We'll go back and look at this. But basically, his first read's Tyreek, and if he has a one-on-one here, which he doesn't because this guy's playing in a too high shell over the top, then Tua would take that one-on-one shot. But since he doesn't, comes over to this side of the field. This is a natural lead blocker. Throw the ball down in the flat, get Raheem out in space, and all he has to do is just make one guy miss, and he has all that room to work with the blocking, and then they score a touchdown. That was a 3rd and 7. That is I think something that's more teams are doing, and the Dolphins have done it pretty effectively throughout the season. Here's the shovel pass. Dolphins scored twice on in this game. This time they motion around. The other one, it was just Tyreek post-snap movement. He didn't motion pre-snap. But you get the fullback going out like it's going to be a lead block, some outside zone stuff. This guy's motioning across here, create all this confusion, leave this guy unblocked, pitch it underneath the H-hand. Everyone's just absolutely lost. His shovel passes, I think, have been really well designed, and I would like to, maybe even see more of this stuff with H-hand back, because clearly that's who was doing this stuff the most effectively. He also understands which calls to make versus certain coverages. The Bills are running a ton of cover 2. They're running it here down the red zone. So he just runs a cover 2 beater concept. Have Tua read this defender. You sit Tyreek Hill down right here. You also give this a flat concept. So you have multiple guys that can really pull the attention of this corner. You see him sit on this, not get enough depth. Throw the ball with anticipation to the back of the corner end zone with Berrios, because that's going to be open if that corner sits there. The safety is going to be a little too late to get there. It's just beautifully designed to beat a specific coverage, which is always nice to see when you have those plays in your playbook. Here's another way. They've run the same kind of screen to Waddle, but instead of doing the cheap motion out, they motioned most of it across. They ran jet earlier, some jet sweep stuff. Now you fake all that, and it gets Waddle all this room to work with. Again, the O-linemen are getting out in space very well. Just look at all the defensive linemen shoot up field, not expecting it to this side, and you get this huge number advantage. Because a lot of times, when it comes to founded football, everything is just about a leverage and number advantage, especially on like running games and screen game stuff. And you get this number advantage this side of the field, you're going to gain 20 yards on a play like that. Another version of this screen, the cheat out motion, but this time instead of using the cheat out motion to throw the screen back to someone else like Waddle, the cheat out motion then becomes the screen, and then you have a natural number advantage to this side. People are expecting to run your usual stuff with the digs. Now you have people getting out here out in space, and it gives all this room with Tyreek. Look at everyone really overcommitting because of that motion stuff. That leaves all this room back for this cutback lane. Just really well designed, executed stuff, giving different looks. Again, out of these plays, you've ran so many different plays, variations, concepts out of it that defenses are having a hard time keeping up. This is another play that is different that I haven't seen around the league. The Dolphins have ran it a few times now. The orbit motion behind, get Tua to turn around, and then he does like that little flip, no look to Tyreek Hill. Also with like how he's aligned here, like very interesting alignment too, with having like a wing, and then he's like playing as like a double wing almost, and it just gets the whole flow of the defense. You're tied in a one-on-one with the edge, and everyone's lost, and it now gets Tyreek Hill in space versus a corner one-on-one, which he's made those guys pretty much look silly all season long. I love the quick design of that. It's just very, very fun. This offensive scheme. I think they can go a little more basic at times with the play calling in certain games, but you can't take away, the elite and fun play design that Mike McDaniel brings. Last play that I'm gonna break down, I showed that swing pass they scored on earlier. Similar thing here. Instead of motioning across, they get him going on the orbit motion this time at tight end. This time it's Smythe instead of Julian Hill. You get 1-on-1 to Tyreek. Doesn't love the look here. Thinks the guy's in good coverage, so he just comes back to this side, and now it just gets, instead of throwing like a basic swing pass where this guy gets to, one-on-one chance to tackle you in space, now you just have a natural lead blocker, and it's an easy walk-in touchdown. I really do like this concept, especially down in the red zone. It works very well because either you have to commit 2 guys out to this, which would leave more space for your wide receivers to work with, or you give 1 guy, and then all you need is just 1 successful block, and you get a free touchdown. It's been one of their better, I think, red zone play designs, either, pulling multiple attention to it or getting a touchdown off that play specifically. So if you guys enjoyed the video, Mike McDaniel, love the play design, play calling, still good, one of the best offensive minds in the league. Want to see how the rest of the season plays out. Very excited. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all together.